Alright guys, want to thank you for checking out Middle American Outdoors and checking out this subscription box reveal and review. As you know, we do several different boxes, as well as get a lot of hunting content out there for, you know, geared toward the maybe those coming into hunting later in life like myself. Kind of what I go through as an adult, teaching myself how to hunt basically. And these subscription boxes are great because they introduce me to a lot of items that I wouldn't have a chance to see or get to know about living in rural Nebraska and not being able to just go browse archery shops and everything like that. So that being said, I've got Bowhunter Box Club. This is the February 2020 trophy bundle. There's a second part to this video where we will go over the original monthly box. And today we will be going over the bow draw portion of the trophy bundle for February 2020. Alright, so like I said, the trophy bundle is a new option at Bowhunter Box Club. To be brief, they used to have the original monthly box option, which runs you about $45 a month and comes down a little bit in price depending on 3, 6, or 12-month subscriptions, as you can see here. Keep in mind that you're paying for shipping as well. And then they had a quarterly full draw box, which is a $160 box, and it was quarterly, obviously. They've decided to go to monthly starting in 2020 with the full draw option, and they also have gone to this trophy bundle where you can get both boxes, $160 value, $45 value. You had to pay shipping on both. Now you've got the 160 and the 45. You can get that for $199 flat rate, no shipping, and it's just awesome. And I love it because the full draw portion is usually bigger items, tree stand items, bigger hunting items, and the original monthly box is more like your broadheads and your smaller items, and they're totally different items. You're going to get different stuff every month in each box. Just check them out. Let's jump right in then to the full draw portion. If you're interested in seeing the other part of this video where you can see the original monthly box, the link is up here. And we'll jump into the full draw portion here. I tell you, this box is sweet. 2 for 2 here in 2020 with the trophy bundle. Just knocking it out of the park here with their items. They've always knocked it out of the park with their customer service and their timeliness and communication. It's just unmatched. And then just really starting to dominate too with their items from the Bowhunter. Yeah, you can't see nothing. There's a peek. And here's a better look of what you'll see when you open this box. Bam. Some typical brands for Bowhunter Box Club: SME, HME, Hawk, Muddy. These are brands you see a lot, but they're great brands and you get a lot of great stuff from them. And honestly, brands you don't see in some of the other boxes, so I'm glad to see it here. Jumping in. You guys saw my notes. Obviously, I do my homework beforehand and we pretend to open the box because the reveal is important, but to me even more important is the review of the items for those like me that don't get a chance to go look through and browse a lot of items. If you go online to buy something, you know what you're going to buy and you go specifically for that. Here's a chance to be exposed to items that maybe you haven't seen or thought about before, and so I like to do a good detailed review. There's your card, and this has a $240 value listed. Woof, that is awesome. I mean, you pay $205 or you pay $199 for the 2 boxes, and this one alone has a $240 value, not even counting that other box. So kind of get this down out of the way, and we'll go from the bottom up. very bottom item is the Birchwood Casey targets. Bam. Birchwood Casey targets. Realism replicates real-life hunting scenarios. Non-reactive paper targets for archery and firearms, made with heavyweight paper, ideally suited for the archery shooter. White-tailed deer, mule deer, and elk targets. Those are probably the options. So they have that listed at a $15 value. Just show you how awesome these things are. This is 23 inches by 35 inches. Bam. Obviously not life size, but just giving you that imagery of where your vitals are on that fully broadside image there. It is a very thick quality paper. You're going to be able to shoot it up quite a bit before it starts to, you know, obviously you're going to have damage here, but before you start to have too much damage to where the paper comes apart, you're going to have, it's going to take a lot. Something great, you know, if you have a bale, or if you have something like the bulldog targets or something like that, you can pin it onto, similar to they have at indoor ranges. You know, you could even probably put it over a bag target and shoot at it some, but that's pretty cool. There is 2 in there, and I looked online and you can find that for $7. They have it listed at $15. I'm not sure what is in everybody else's box, but I can show you here later. Actually, I'm going to come back to that and just at the end. So I'm going to try to show you 3 numbers here now going forward. We have the, what I paid for the box, what you can actually go buy these items for online, and then also what the MSRP or the suggested retail price is. Because it's not fair to these subscription box companies not to show that, as that's what they judge their value on, and just to make sure they meet that target. My goal is to see the marketplace, what you can buy it for, at least exceed what I paid for the box, hopefully by quite a bit, and I definitely want to see that MSRP meet what they say online as far as at least a $225 value, I believe it is, for the full draw box. So right now we're at $160 for the box. We're at $7 for the marketplace value, and also $15 for the MSRP. There's a discrepancy there, but I think you're going to see where that gets made up for here in a bit. So moving on up, this is really cool. This is a perfect example of something I would not be exposed to if it wasn't for these subscription boxes. This is the Hawk Game Camera Shag. It says camouflage your trail camera with its own ghillie suit style shag to keep it hidden from animals and thieves. You're going to see there's kind of a theme to this box. It makes sense as we go, but it's very useful, awesome theme. So anyway, here is the shag ghillie suit. There's what I'm looking for. Now I get it. One of the cheap old Primos here. Looks like you can just wrap it right around there. Kind of fluff it out. You know, deer are really good, I guess, at picking up not so much the color, but that sharp line. You know, if you put this dark camera against the light tree, they're good at picking out that change and seeing that border. So here you're able to break that up. And that's obviously what we're doing when we wear camo. It's not so much of the color matching per se, but it's just the breaking up of the outline. You know, it's the point of the ghillie suit when you're on the ground hunting. You're breaking up your human outline, and here you're breaking up the outline of that camera. It's got some Velcro attachments here to put it on. But yeah, that's a pretty unique little item. Pretty cool. I mean, I think it could go around pretty good sized cameras too. It's got a lot of stretch to it there, as well as a smaller camera. So they've got that listed at a $15 value, and I was able to find that here for $12, which then brings us to $160 for the box, $19 so far for the market value, what you could go buy these items for, and $30 on the MSRP target. And we'll keep going. So item number 3 then is another awesome item and another great Hawk product. So there it is. That is the Hawk camera stakeout system, a $40 value. It says a freestanding mount allows you to choose where you place your camera, includes the GoPro ready mount, cool, and standard thread to attach game camera, action camera, or ozonics unit. Extendable height up to 53 inches high with 360 pivoting ball head, paired with a 6-inch deep earth auger and rugged ground plate. This camera stake is super stable and secure. So cool. So it doesn't have like a lot of bend to it or anything, but let me bring up my side camera here, show you. So they're demonstrating using it there in the blind, looks like with the bino or something on there. Any height, you know, high angle down for early season. You can use it with GoPro or digital cameras. It's going to dig into the ground. It's got this nice stable platform to keep it from falling over as easy. You know, obviously if you get it too high, the center of gravity is too high, and a deer or something bumps into it, I'm sure it has a good chance of dislodging a little, but this larger ground plate should help to keep it quite a bit more stable. I suppose if you drove some stakes in there too, you'd probably give yourself even more stability. Just the normal snap height adjustments. There's your GoPro mount. Spin that off, and you could put your screw right into the bottom of your trail camera there. Obviously you're not going to use like a security box, because what's the point of using a security box when somebody can just pull the stake out of the ground and take the camera. But this is just really cool. You know, I've seen some cool videos where people put a camera on a stake kind of like 4 or 5 yards out into a watering hole maybe, and shooting back to the shore, and get, you know, a lot of deer coming up to the water, or elk going into the wallow. Probably don't want to put it right in the middle of the mud on a wallow because it's going to get destroyed, but you could put it near the wallow if you don't have any trees or the trees are too far away. But anyway, they've got that listed at a $40 value, and you can actually find that here for $28, which is a larger discrepancy. But that brings us then to $160 box, and we're at $47 now for our market retail, or you say market value, what we paid for it. MSRP is at $70 after these 3 items. So let's keep moving. Number 4, Hawk safety line kit. Awesome item. I did not have one before. I was lucky enough I got one in another box last month and get one here. So I'm not going to complain though. These are great items. I'm not going to do a huge clip here. I will insert the clip from the other box review. They describe this as the Hawk safety line. Stay safe from the moment you leave the ground to the time you return with Hawk safety line. This line is a 30-foot braided nylon rope with one pressing knot that slides up and down the rope as you climb. In the event of a fall, the knot will tighten to prevent serious injury. Steel carabiner included. Awesome. So I said I'm going to be doing a lot more mobile hunting with the B-sticks and a saddle. Company and brand yet to be determined on the saddle purchase. But this, you know, even when using that, you have to use a lineman's belt. And if you have a lot of strap, or if you have a lot of tree branches on your way up, it's kind of dicey switching the lineman's belt, having 2 lineman's belt, whatever you're going to do to stay attached to the tree. This, on the other hand, You know, if you have your set tree stands or anything like that, keep you a lot safer when you're climbing, because you won't need to take a lineman's belt off and do that little bit awkward movement as you're climbing. This can just be a vertical rope that you're tightening as you climb. I just want to show you what it looks like. There's your pressing knot. So your weight on a pressing knot pulls that knot tighter and tighter onto the nylon rope, creating a lock on the rope so it doesn't slide up and down. You see a lot of the pressing knot used with the saddle hunters, etc. But yeah, there you go. You've got an overhand knot. You're just going to pass your rope through probably and create your cinch around the tree. 30 feet worth. I don't think anybody's getting higher than 30 feet. And it's also got that highly reflective material in the nylon rope. So make it really easy to find your tree stand if you maybe aren't going to the same tree stands very often and need a little help in the dark relocating that stand. There you go. So anyway, here we are back to Hawk Safety Line kit. They've got that listed here at a $50 value, which is the same as what the other company had the MSRP at. But you can get it here for $34, bringing our 160 box, our 160 box, 81 for what we could buy these items for online, and 120 so far on the MSRP target value. So we're getting pretty close. We got one item left and it's pretty cool. It is muddy and it is upside down. It is the Muddy ProCam 20 megapixel. Cool. I love trying out new cameras. I am very blessed that I have quite a few trail cameras, but I hunt a lot of private pieces. Excuse me, I hunt a lot of public pieces and I only have access to one private piece. I do put a lot of cameras on the private piece, but I also leave a lot of cameras on public, very well secured or up high. And it's always nice to try new camera brands and see what their quality is like. So here we've got the Muddy ProCam 20. It says this product features a 20 megapixel 2:8 photo burst, 1280 by 720 HD with sound or VGA 32 frames per second. With sound video, 0.6 second trigger speed, invisible flash with 36 HE LEDs, simple to program, backlit LCD screen to easily navigate through settings any time of the day. I'm excited to try it. If you look around, there's plenty of reviews on these cameras, the ProCam 14 and the ProCam 20. Similar to the Brownings I have with this backlit screen here, makes it really easy to see versus those that are not backlit when you're trying to program them, especially if it's in low light. It's a really nice looking camera anyway. This is what I was talking about with the shag. So you've got the tree appearance here, but it's no way going to match exactly. So even when this is up against a big tree, that deer's easily going to pick out the border change. But you put that shag on and suddenly it's a lot harder to pick out that border of the camera. But if you're fumbling with it with your hands, it'll pick out your scent anyway. So the one thing I saw maybe some real problems with on the Muddy camera and why I wouldn't have bought it, but I'm happy to get to try it and see for myself, is a lot of the reviewers talk about it not triggering very well, especially when it says a 70-foot detection range. Some of the guys, it look like maybe they're getting 10 or 15 feet at the most, which is troublesome, especially those that are setting up cameras over feeders. Where I'm at, we're setting up cameras over trails, active, or trails to find out if they're active during season. I'm setting it up over top of minerals during the off season and going into the fall just to see what's in the area. But then in the active season, I'm putting link cameras out over trails to see if they're active before I go out and try to hunt those public pieces. So I don't need a 70-foot detection range. I need like a 15 or 20 foot. And I rely on the link cameras for that because it's really tough to get into all those public pieces and check all those cameras all the time. So the link cameras give me good feedback on a daily basis without traveling and taking up all that extra time. But I am excited to try this. I will probably try something during the summer, June or July, putting it side by side with some of my more expensive cameras like my Browning HD 850s, and we'll just see. You know, we'll put the mineral block outaways and we'll see how they pick up comparatively. I really like that it has a 20 megapixel daytime camera, but I believe it's like a 5 megapixel nighttime, which is not the highest quality at night. But we want to see pictures of deer during the day anyway. So it's cool. I love it. I love that the Bowhunter Box Club gets cameras as well as camera gear. Sweet setup here. They have that listed at $120 value. To be honest, they're going for a lot less than that just because they have a lot of bad reviews from people in the know. So anyway, you can get this here for $79, which then brings our 160 box to being able to purchase for all these items for 160. So we're right at break even here, which is concerning. At least we're not in the negative, but we're at break even. And I always say, if we're going to break even, I'd rather spend the money on items I want. I want to make sure I at least get some money, some additional. You know, if I'm going to spend 160, I want to see more than that here. So anyway, we're at 160 for what I've spent, and we're at 240 for their MSRP target, surpassing their 225 goal by a good distance. So that's great and applauded. So if I stop there, that would be my concern. I spent 160 and I got 160, although I like this 160. But Bowhunter Box Club doesn't do that junk. They don't want you to be kind of break even iffy. So I'm not sure what the other boxes look like, and maybe more people have more Birchwood Casey. I'm not sure what happened there. But I have SME targets here. And this is just killer. And this is a perfect example of Bowhunter Box Club doing what they do. They don't want you just to be break even and be on. They want you to be blown away. And this puts it over the top to blow you away. So I showed you the mule deer, and by Birchwood Casey, 2 of those were $7. Granted, they're very large. Here you've got SME Shooting Made Easy, and this is the whitetail, and there are 3 in there. These 3 targets right here is $12. Just giving you, obviously not life size, but giving you a visual picture of vital, what you're aiming for. Whether you use those for rifle or whatever. I think most people probably use SME products for rifle, but this will work the same for target archery or archery, sighting in, anything like that. Just getting that visualization of where that heart actually is to be aiming, so that when you get the reaction to the string from the deer and they drop, or worst case scenario they drop, you're aiming at their heart and they drop, you still get lung. Best case scenario they don't drop and you're taking heart. But getting that picture of where that heart sits on the deer in your head and getting the target for that. So there's another $12, bringing us to $172 for what I would have spent for this. I'm happy. Now we're over that. You know, I'm in the break even, I'm in the positive. But let's go ahead and just blow it out and make sure we're all really happy, and throw in some elk targets as well. So that's a horizontal target, but there's your elk. You can get a good picture of the elk vital as well. And there are 3 of those. You've also got your side and ring here, and then your vital imagery, which is just so cool. And that is also $12. So now we're up to $184 for what I was spent for the box. That's great. I mean, we're not we didn't need to do that, but I'm pumped that he did. Maybe everybody else got, you know, more of the Birchwood KC targets, which maybe are a little more specific for archery in their size and their paper quality. But that's $7 for 2, and there's 3 for 12. And they had the Birchwood KC targets listed at 15, and I've got $31 worth of targets right there of what I would actually have to pay for them. So they doubled their MSRP on that one item. It's just cool. I mean, they go out of their way to make sure that people are blown away and over the top. I hope you guys will give them a chance. Just check them out. If you haven't, check out the January box, as that box, I still have a giveaway going through April 1st. And I have that extra January monthly original box right here. And I'd like to give that away to somebody that's not a subscriber currently to the original monthly box. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below and get yourself entered. Or leave a comment on that video, I should say. Just check out that video above. Anyway, pumped. Awesome job, Boner Box Club. And thank you guys for checking in. Make sure you leave some comments on what you think of the items. Leave some feedback for the Boner Box Club guys. Leave some feedback for me on what I could do better to make this a better experience for y'all. And I'm going to cut this out because it is February, end of February. It is sunny. It is gorgeous out. We are getting some thaw. And I'm fixing to take my short hairs and my 3-year-old daughter, and we're going to go find some sheds. So I'm out. Thanks, guys.